Hey, you bit Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. A bit of Star Wars news. This comes from Bounding Into Comics, as I always say. It could get a bit spicy. So this is about the Acolyte. So let's have a look at this one. There we go. There's Leslie Headland with a weird spelt name. Is that how it was given to her as a child? Did she have mental parents, or did she want to be cool and different? I'll swap the last two letters. Anyway, whatever. Rumour, Leslie Headland's The Acolyte only filming a pilot or sizzle reel, not full series. A new rumour claims that Leslie Headland's The Acolyte project is reportedly only filming a pilot or sizzle reel and not the actual full series for Disney+. This rumour comes from Nikita and Sleeper Cell producer Cameron Pasha and an anonymous source of his codenamed Sparrow. He relayed his sources information to Midnight's Edge's Andre Einherjar. Apologies, Einherjar. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Andre from Midnight's Edge. On YouTube, after his scoop about Damon Lindelof's Star Wars project not going forward was seemingly confirmed, as Lindelof exited a rumoured Star Wars film. And there's the link for that video there if you want to go and look at that. I've watched it. It's really, really good, actually. I like Cameron Pasha. Pasha relayed, the major thing that my source said is that the big thing that is happening is, as some of you may know, there's a lot of controversy around this television series that Leslie Headland has announced called The Acolyte, and I've been opining for over a year that this is unlikely to ever hit the screens on Disney+. He's not the only one to say that, but we'll get into that afterwards. That's just been my opinion, because I didn't think there was a market for it and I just didn't see the energy around it. But in the last several weeks, the Sparrow source has been telling me directly that the official narrative is that what does that mean? I don't know. That people are going with, I think news, is that supposed to be news? Is that in the news that people are going with that this is a fully filmed episodic series, that there's 8-10 episodes, whatever it is, they've been funded for that, and they're all filming, and that it's all a real TV show. That's not exactly an accurate representation of what's happening, he said. And there's an alleged shot from the set of The Acolyte, but they're not in costume, are they? Or have they? But it could be. Is it a set from The Acolyte, or is it a set from some other Star Wars project that they're just taking a photo on? Anyway, Pasha continued, Sparrow has confirmed in the past that there is a small budget for filming something. They have claimed to me that there is something filming under The Acolyte, but it's not a full series. It is what we would call a presentation or sizzle reel, where they're putting together scenes from individual episodes of written scripts that they have to essentially create as a marketing tool to go inside of Disney to tell Mr. Iger and others, look, this is what the show is going to look like when we go. Can you please give us the rest of the money? And that's a very common thing to do in Hollywood. If you go in the trades, you'll see recently several shows were greenlit off of presentations. It's just a concept that Hollywood has. Sometimes the studio doesn't give you the whole money to here's 10 episodes or even here's $10 million for a pilot. They're like, here's $1 million, go show us what some of this is going to look like before we take the risk of further investment. That is what Sparrow is claiming with this, that there are some production entities involved in that and some money flowing. And there's Bob Iger. Uncle Bob. To this point, gone too far, there we go. To this point, one need look no further than HBO's cancelled Game of Thrones prequel series that was scrapped after Warner Media allotted $30 million to film a pilot. Former Warner Media chairman Rob Greenblatt explained they had spent over $30 million on a great Game of Thrones prequel pilot that was in production when I got there. When I saw a cut of it in a few months after I arrived, I said to Casey, this just doesn't work, and I don't think it delivers on the promise of the original series, and he didn't disagree, which actually was a relief. Greenblatt added, we've unfortunately decided to pull the plug on it. There was enormous pressure to get it right, and I don't think that would have worked. And that's from Game of Thrones episode 8, season 8, isn't it? Which was terrible. Pasha went on. A couple of weeks ago, they had claimed to me, well, the numbers aren't quite adding up and they don't really have a lot of money, but for PR purposes, Ms. Headland continues to represent this as a full show, or this is a full show. And it's sort of the fake it till you make it philosophy, much like Mr. Lindelof was doing. We have a full movie, in the hopes of getting a green light. J.J. Abrams does that a lot as well, this Star Trek 4 blathering. He added, well, that illusion just ended, and so Sparrow's been saying, well, that's also the illusion of the Acolyte. There's no full series there. They're trying to force Disney to give them a full series. They're hoping through PR and filming some of these scenes they're gonna get that. And that's a shot from The Mandalorian. The latest episode, I do believe, which wasn't very good. Pasha then points to Karen McCarthy's lawsuit against Lucasfilm as a piece of evidence backing up his source. McCarthy is suing Lucasfilm for breach of contract, breach of the covenant of good faith and fair dealing, promissory estoppel, whatever that means, and failure to pay wages at termination, claiming she was hired as an executive producer on The Acolyte, only to find out 2 weeks later that Lucasfilm wanted out of the deal they made. Upon requesting to be paid for her work, the suit claims Lucasfilm denied that they even had an agreement. The complaint further asserts that Lucasfilm offered to pay McCarthy $5,000 for a single day's work. And there's the armour in Mandalorian. Pasha explains why this lawsuit is evidence of his source's claims. How could a TV series that Ms. Headland has claimed she has 8 episodes, 10 episodes, whatever, she claims she has, if that's the case, we know that Lucasfilm, Disney, shows easily $10 million an episode, so we're looking at $80 million, $100 million maybe. Maybe more has been budgeted for this series that she has publicly told the world is filming right now as a series. So if you have $80 million, $100 million, $120 million budget, you can't give this woman $500,000 to go away. A producer who you hired and then fired within a few days without explanation, Pasha questioned. If you have the money, that's an easy write-off and you don't get into this kind of humiliating public dispute, which is very embarrassing. Makes other creatives go, should I work with Lucasfilm? Are they going to lie to me? You don't want that reputation. So the only reason you would offer $5,000 if you had a $100 million budget is that you don't have a $100 million budget. Objectively, that is the only reason why you would do that to someone of this calibre. So you don't have the money. So that certainly should raise the hackles of people as to whether this production really has the scale of what is being claimed, he asserted. The Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm announced back in November 2022 via a press release sent to Bounding Into Comics that the series had begun production in the United Kingdom. It would star Amandla Stenberg, Lee Jung-jae, Manny Jacinto, Daphne Keane, Jodie Turner-Smith, Rebecca Henderson, Charlie Barnett, Dean Charles Chapman and Carrie-Anne Moss. Headland would direct the pilot episode and would executive produce alongside Kathleen Kennedy, Simon Emanuel, Jeff F. King and Jason McAuliffe, I don't know. Rain Roberts and Damien Anderson were also attached to producers. An official description for the series stated, The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. No release date for the series was announced at the time. I do apologise. Oh, what's happening there? And there's Leslie Headland and somebody else, does it say? And Rebecca Henderson at the Russian Doll series premiere, which I've not seen. What do you make of this rumour? Yes, what do you make of it? It's very interesting. It makes sense, to be honest. We shall see what happens. There's been another YouTuber who some people like and some people don't. I kind of take it with a pinch of salt. I forgot her name now. Stephanie, what's her face? The Smuggler's Cantina lady. She's been saying a similar thing, saying that the Acolyte's not going to happen. But you know, pay more attention to Cameron Pasha, because I like Cameron and I like Andre from Midnight's Edge. Go and follow them on YouTube. Right, so there we go. And don't forget, Leslie Headland used to be the personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, you know, the infamous Harvey Weinstein, probably during the time that he was forcing himself on people. So what does she know? I mean, she even did a play, didn't she, about it, changing names and stuff like that. But did she do anything at the time? No, she didn't. Right, anyway, whatever, we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll say thee.